Welcome to Haunt Weekly.
Hello everyone, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this is Haunt Weekly, a weekly podcast with the haunted attraction and haunted entertainment community. Whether you're an actor, owner, or just plain aficionado, we aim to be a podcast for you. Happy Monday once again, everyone. So glad you decided to let us into your ear holes and fill you full of haunting-related knowledge and wisdom. We're not going to do that, are we?
No, we don't have knowledge and wisdom.
Knowledge and wisdom. What are these silly things that most podcasts impart?
Yeah.
But yes, we are back again this week to talk about something a little different.
Right.
Continuing education opportunities for haunters.
Yeah.
Now, it's the reason is we were thinking about this is it's summer.
Yep.
And many universities are, of course, closed during summer. Mm-hmm. So what they do a lot of during the summer months is they offer continuing ed or adult education sessions that you as a member of the community can go to at a very limited cost.
Right.
To pick up new skills and learn new things. And so we took some time to peruse our local colleges, our local community colleges, our local, major colleges.
Right.
And maybe find some courses and some course ideas that you can look up elsewhere.
Yes, and if there's something that we miss,
yes,
please join the conversation with us on social media.
Yes, we are Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. We'd love your ideas, especially if you have some courses that are unique to your area that maybe we didn't see because they weren't here in New Orleans. Like, we only briefly touch on the Haunted Ghost Tour course that's being taught at Delgado here, which is pretty awesome for us.
Interesting. Yeah.
But I don't know how useful that is to anyone else, and that'd be great for haunters here.
Yeah.
But anyways, yes, we are also at hauntweekly.com as our website. tinyurl.com/hauntweekly is our YouTube channel. We're also on Podomatic, Stitcher, iTunes, Google Play, all the places you would expect a podcast to be distributed. You will find us there. So please check us out, subscribe. And if you, like I said, have anything to add to this, I'm really curious to learn what you guys see and what you guys might think would be good topics for haunters to learn.
Right.
But first thing is first, as is usual, we have conference reminders. It is an even week. That means I start. And so, right off the bat, coming up July 14th and 15th in Ocala, Florida, it's the Southeast Halloween Enthusiast Convention at 2300 Southwest 17th Road in Ocala, Florida, featuring a ghost walk tour and a costume ball. Learn the details at SEHEC.com.
Now, I've been seeing some of the things that are going to be happening here, and it looks like a fun time. All right, but next we have July 27th through the 29th. It's Room Escape Conference and Tour in Nashville, Tennessee at the Music City Center, touring up to 8 different escape games, 2 tours of 4.
You will tour 4, other people will tour different 4. It'll be great, trust me, you'll have a good time.
Yes. Includes extreme escape games, Live Minds Adventure Escape, Escape Point, and Locked Murfreesboro. RoomEscapeShow.com for more info.
No, it is absolutely mind-boggling to me that this quickly you can get this size of a room escape conference in and around Nashville by itself.
Yeah.
I mean, just think about how crazy that would have been just a few years ago.
Yeah.
Anyways, after that, July 20th and 29th in Long Beach, California, it's Midsummer Scream at the Long Beach Convention Center. Will feature dozens of on-site haunted attractions experience and the largest Hall of Shadows in their history, as well as a Screaming Room Film Festival, MidsummerScream.org. Looks like a great thing for both haunted attraction enthusiasts and horror enthusiasts.
Yes.
Ha-ha!
Then July 30th, we have Seasonal Attraction Leadership Symposium 2018, which, as you'll note, is a day after Midsummer Scream.
Oh, stay a day late.
It's in Long Beach, California, also at the Queen Mary Hotel. It's put on by the Haunted Attractions Network, otherwise known as Gantom Media. 6 keynotes with following discussions, and hauntedattractionnetwork.com to find out more on that.
All right. After that, in Los Angeles, California, August 5th through the 6th, it's Scare LA at the Los Angeles Convention Center West Halls. It'll feature Scarywood, a 60,000 square foot attraction made up of mini haunts. Oh man, I gotta eat my ass to LA, don't I?
Yeah, it sounds like it.
It will also feature Float, an It-themed cinematic VR experience, a film festival, and a costume ball. ScareLA.com for more.
Okay. And then August 16th through the 19th, we have Halloween and Haunt Fest in Mesquite, Texas. It's near Dallas. It'll be at the Mesquite Convention Center. Features a Haunters Mixer and Zombie Paintball Hunt, a costume ball, and a movie night. Additional info is TBA.
You know, we do know they're touring the Monsters Mansion.
We do. Still not on the notes.
Shut up.
We have to remember that, and it's too early this week to remember. HalloweenandHaunt.com. We were here last year. It was a lot of fun.
I do not think we're going to make it this year.
Right.
Nothing against the conference.
No.
It was a wonderful time.
Yeah.
It turns out there are allergens that impact one of our team. So, yes. Not anyone else. No one else was impacted, though. No. You were safe.
Yes.
Only one of us has the absolute weirdest allergy in all of human history.
Yeah.
A new addition this week. If you send us something to put on the conference reminders, we will do it. You don't have to remind us every 6 weeks to do it.
Yeah.
And of course, I'm teasing that.
Yeah.
But anyways, it's the Haunters Barbecue in Jackson, New Jersey on August 18th. It is hosted by the Jersey Devil Haunted Experience.
Yes.
Tickets are just $15 in advance. Learn more details at JerseyDevilHalloween.com.
And thank you to Chris Gay for sending that in.
Yes, like I said, you don't have to remind us every 6 months to do it, okay?
Yeah,
we will get around to it.
He did not. All right. August 24th through the 26th, it is Mask Fest in Indianapolis, Indiana, at the JW Marriott, Indianapolis. It features mask makers and makeup artists of all types, including Tom Savini. Maskfest.com for more info when it's available.
Yes. All in all, a great conference lineup coming up. Busy summer, as is usual.
Right.
So, yeah, lots of stuff to check out and do. Mm-hmm. All right, but anyways, back to our main topic this week. I was really fascinated by this. This was one of those topic ideas we started talking about, and I didn't get excited about until I actually tried to research it.
Right.
Summer is a time of self-improvement. We do this a lot. It's a time to learn new skills, time to pick up new hobbies, a time to broaden horizons in general. And this is especially true here in New Orleans, where it's too goddamn hot to be outside. Yeah. So anything you can do inside an air-conditioned classroom is even better.
Yes, because these are during the day, and then we go out in the hot at night, and it's hot.
Yeah, when it's still like 90 damn degrees, but...
Yeah, but at least the sun's not out.
At least the sun's not out, yeah. But anyways... Since a lot of colleges are closed or are very limited during summer, they offer continuing ed or non-credit courses. Mm-hmm. And these courses can be all over the map in terms of what they are. Yeah.
And we should specify that we are not doing the workshops that are specifically for haunters in this talk. They are out there. They're all over the country. You can find ones in your area. This is things more for the general public, but that we could find use
that are applicable to us. And that's kind of the point to this, is these are all skills that the public at large might want to learn, but haunters may have a very specific reason for wanting to pick it up, especially in the day-to-day operation of a haunt.
Exactly.
And these are courses typically offered at the place I would start looking, honestly, is your local community and technical colleges.
Right.
They are probably going to be your points on this. There are also adult education centers that offer these classes if you live in a larger city, especially some of these tech stuff I'm talking about later.
Yeah.
There's adult education centers. Yeah, don't be ashamed to go to the place where the old people learn computers.
Yeah.
If they have, classes on networking and so forth, too. Yeah. They often do. Mm-hmm. And likewise, you'll find some of these at major, 4-year institutions. Mm-hmm. They'll either do non-credit classes during the summer, or as we'll discuss in a minute, sometimes you can actually take actual credit classes as a non-credit student, for a small fee.
Right. And also during the summer, a lot of colleges put these classes online.
Yes.
So there are a lot of online opportunities.
Absolutely. There's a lot of great stuff to talk about here. So anyways, The reason we wanted to talk about these classes, though, is because these are a great opportunity to pick up new skills quickly.
Mm-hmm.
Most of these classes we're discussing are super low commitment.
Yeah.
You're not committing to a full semester. You're not going to be there for 3 months.
Yeah.
You're going to be there for 5 to 12 sessions or meetings.
Yeah.
That's not a lot, guys.
No.
Some of these classes, I should say, take even less than a week. A few of these that I found in a local guide were 5 meetings and 5 days.
Yeah.
Just bing, 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 and you're done. You learn something. Hopefully, you learn something coming out the other side. Also, they're low cost.
Yeah.
These were surprisingly cheap. The local community college ones started at just $100.
Yeah.
Now, some of them, like, that required more technical stuff got higher up into the $500. If they required more sessions, they got around $500. But usually it was between $15 and $40 per session.
Right.
And I know, like, your school, Loyola, was offering basically $450 per credit hour. Was an example of how, which isn't that crazy.
No.
Basically, these are classes where anyone can register and take them. You don't have to be, accepted to the school. You don't have to fear rejection. You don't even have to have a high school diploma to take these.
Right.
You can be just anybody off the street saying, hey, I want to take a class. Here, if there's a slot available and you got the money, you can take it.
Right.
It's great. And the best part of all is you just pointed out a minute ago, many can be taken online.
Yeah.
You can take them naked.
You could.
Just don't turn the webcam on.
Exactly.
Be very mindful of the webcam.
If it's a course that requires webcam, put on clothes.
Yes, please put on clothes. No showing bits and bobs to the online instructors, please. Then definitely don't do it and say, we told you to do it.
No.
So, on that note, there's a bunch of classes we looked at and thought that they might be really good ideas for haunters.
Yeah.
And these often deal with areas of haunting that many don't like to think about or work on as much.
Right. And these are investing in yourself. These are money savers down the road, because if you know how to do something until you get big enough to hire a whole crew, then you can do it yourself and not have to hire a consultant.
Yeah, most haunts out there that I've ever been involved with, every haunt I've been involved with, everyone pulls.
Granted, we've been only involved in small ones, not the gigantic ones.
That's true. But every haunt I've been involved in, the people who run it pull double, triple, quadruple duty. They do a half a dozen different things. And so this is improving some of your other hats that maybe you don't think about as often.
Right.
All right. Well, here, like I said, these are all based upon things that were offered locally. So tons of great stuff here to discuss this week. All right. First off the bat, graphic design classes. I had to lump like a whole crap ton of classes into one group here. But graphic design classes are apparently legion. In fact, our local big community college, and I'm air quoting here, is Delgado.
Right.
That's what it's called. It's got 3 campuses, I think, one North Shore, one City Park, one here in the West Bank. They offer, I believe I saw 12 different graphic design related classes, including classes in Adobe InDesign, which is used in like the desktop publishing side of things, Illustrator, which is used for line drawing and line art, and Photoshop, which if you don't know what Photoshop does, I'm sorry, I can't help you.
Yeah.
It edits photos.
Mm-hmm.
Basically, the idea here is this. If you're tired of having to pawn off or pay someone to do design work, do it your own damn self.
Yeah.
A little bit of knowledge here goes a very, very long way when it comes to this type of stuff. Trust me. Because we talk, and this is something that I think is going to come up over and over again in this particular podcast. You can get to, like something like 70 to 80% proficiency in something very quickly.
Yeah.
You can get to be the jack of a trade pretty fast. You won't be the expert in it.
Right.
But a jack of all trade is good enough for a lot of assignments and a lot of tasks.
Right. And not only do classes like this teach you the software, but they also teach you the basics of design and how to do good design.
Yeah, and it's interesting because all these courses, of course, describe themselves, once again, another theme through the entire episode, describe what they're doing based upon the software.
Right.
But yeah, you're also going to be learning some of the basic skills and how-tos as you learn the software. It's kind of impossible not to learn both. You know, you can't really talk about one without... Well, you could, but it would be very stupid and very difficult.
Right.
All right. Now, like I said, these courses are definitely software-oriented, but they offer both print and web sessions, especially the Photoshop classes.
Right.
Which focus on getting images prepped both for print documents and for the web. And here's the thing... For graphic design, if you really want to get into graphic design and like sink your teeth into it, you're going to need to learn. You've got to be that jack of all trades in all the major areas.
Right.
You've really got to get to that point. There's just no way around it. But it would take a very considerable amount of time to take an intro to InDesign, an intro to Illustrator, and an intro to Photoshop. So if you're only going to take one, I would say Photoshop is probably the most important.
Yeah, I'd agree with that.
Because Photoshop is what you're going to use with everything.
Right.
And you can actually do a significant amount of both print and web design in Photoshop.
Yes, you can.
Just by itself. You can use Photoshop to create themes that you cut apart and make into websites.
Right.
I know haunters who have used Photoshop to actually design their tickets, to design their flyers and so forth.
Yeah.
It's not ideal software for it. It's a bit...
Yeah, it works well enough.
It works well enough, though, and that's the main thing. And getting
and the Adobe Suite right now is not that expensive to purchase it on a monthly basis.
And that's the other thing, is if you want to get access to InDesign and Illustrator, you're going to have to pay for the full Creative Cloud. Right. That's the whole shebang, or you have to buy them individually like a sucker.
Exactly.
And that, I believe, is like $60 a month.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you can get what you have, I believe,
right,
which is the photographer's package,
right,
which is $10 a month or something like that.
Yeah,
and you get Photoshop elements in Lightroom.
Yeah.
So yeah, you can go a long way graphic design wise with just a $10 per month graphic design package. So there's no need to pirate the software anymore, guys.
No, please don't do
stop
that.
If you do that, please don't. Please stop.
Yeah.
It's actually quite affordable these days.
Yeah.
All right. The next class to consider is computer-aided design/drafting. Now, this is a controversy unto itself. If you say computer-aided design around Leonard Pickle, he may rip your head off because he's quick to emphasize it's computer-aided drafting. The Wikipedia would like a word with him.
Yeah.
And other sources would too, but that's neither here nor there. But yes, take a moment and learn the basics of AutoCAD or a similar drafting software. Learn how to lay and design things in 3D. I don't know. What would this be useful for in the haunt industry, Crystal?
Everything?
Oh, maybe like laying out a haunt?
Yeah, laying out a haunt, doing, building props. You could mock them up in 3D space and...
Yeah, I don't know. Like this seems like it could have a lot of power, doesn't it?
It does.
And I gotta say, this is... This is not a good story to share in this podcast.
But you're doing it anyway.
I'm going to do it anyway because this is discouraging and disheartening. The only continuing ed class I ever tried to take personally was a CAD class.
Yeah.
And it was really funny because at the time I was working for a company. This was a lifetime ago. Now it feels like a lifetime ago.
Yeah.
I was working for a company that sold an AutoCAD. They sold seats for AutoCAD. And so they felt it was important for the marketing guy and the president of the company to have a basics of CAD, of how to use it.
Made sense.
Made sense. So I agreed to do it. So me and the president of the damned company schlep on down to the Delgado, I think it was, to take this class. We sit there the first day, and the professor never shows up.
Yeah.
Just never shows up. So that sucked, and then we found out the class was canceled later. So yeah, that was my experience with continuing ed. But I've heard other people had better experiences.
Yeah,
I have it on good authority.
They actually got to go to a class
and learn something. Yes. But anyways, if your area does offer SketchUp classes, that may be preferable. I know Leonard Pickle offers SketchUp classes at a lot of the haunted attraction conventions he does.
Right.
I've actually taken one of them. I took one of the short ones. He does longer ones too.
Right.
I took like the 1 hour sessions. He does a 3 and a 6. He does like longer sessions, I believe. SketchUp is probably ideal if you're not super savvy
on
CAD. and super savvy with this because it's very simplified in terms of how it works, but has enough functionality to lay out a haunt.
Yeah.
But still, I mean, this can really, really help in the planning process and save time on building. Every time we have done a complete teardown and rebuild, we have CAD'd it out using SketchUp first.
Definitely.
And this is just our tiny little haunt. I mean...
Yeah. Yes. We put it on... I usually draw out some things on a graph paper and say, here, put in the computer.
And it's somewhere on this Mac, actually, the one I'm reading the show notes on, I have SketchUp installed, and I have models for the basic panel,
right.
The basic two-sided panel, and other various elements that we have. Like, I think I still have our breakaway wall modeled out. Right.
Yeah, and that's the thing is that, you know, that is a big prop.
Yeah.
It is a wall, but it moves. So
it moves as one giant unit.
Exactly. So we had to make sure that we had clearance for the audience, to go past.
Like the roof.
Well, yeah, that too. You know.
The roof was an initial problem with that. That was pretty embarrassing, actually.
Yeah.
Like someone was talking about, I can't remember where it was, have you ever built a prop that you found out was a quarter, like 3/4 an inch too big to get out of your shop? Dude, we built a prop that we found out afterward was too big to get into the haunt.
Yeah.
That's humiliating.
Yeah, because we built it out in the driveway.
We built it on the driveway. Yeah, sure. This 8-foot by 8-foot monstrosity will go right in the front. No, it won't. No, it won't. CAD people, just use AutoCAD.
Yeah.
Or
SketchUp.
No, SketchUp. Use CAD design. Use it.
Yeah.
It will help you.
Yeah.
It will help you avoid embarrassing situations like that.
Yeah.
All right. Number 3, photography classes.
Yes.
Okay. I'm going to say something here that may get me slapped by the photographer in the room. But for most photos that you will take in your day-to-day life, a quick photo with a smartphone is probably perfectly fine. You don't need a fancy camera for most things. Your iPhone, your Samsung, your whatever will do at least an adequate job.
Yeah.
But here's the thing. Shooting photos in a haunt sucks.
Yeah, because you have to deal with all the low light.
Yeah, basically a haunted attraction, typically, you're doing all the things they tell you not to do when taking photos. Yep. Light your subject well. Well, screw that. That ship sailed.
Yeah. Now, you should have extra light on your subject in the photo, but you should be able to keep it, spooky. And photography classes can help you learn how to light things.
Yeah. Yeah, basically, a photography course is going to teach you several key things. A good photography course.
Right.
The first is going to be how to properly use a DSLR camera.
Yeah. So
you don't have to go around with the idiot box on all the time.
Yeah. Now, I will say that I have taken a photography class at college, because I was an art major, and I took one locally that was a one-day seminar. Go for the class.
Yeah.
Like the full deal, because the one-day seminar did not give enough instruction. It really seemed to target people who knew absolutely nothing.
Well, it benefited you because you had the full class previously and learned on a manual camera. And no, Crystal's not that old.
No.
She just learned on a manual camera because that's what her art college did.
Yeah.
Learned on a manual film camera. And so the seminar was able to teach you how to translate the digital controls to the film camera you already knew so well.
Right.
But how many people in that class were in that situation?
Not many.
I think one.
Yeah.
You.
Yeah, because I actually asked, because I do a lot of photography with musicians. And musicians, like haunts, work in dark places.
And tend to be backlit and tend to be...
And they move a lot.
Yes.
Playing instruments and things. So it's very difficult subject shoot.
Yes.
But I asked, how do you do that? And they didn't have any real advice on that.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And they will also, but if a good photography course, in addition to teaching how to use a DSLR camera, will also teach you how to properly light a subject, how to, set up a photograph.
Exactly.
Which is very, very useful. But also, what equipment you want to rent or to buy.
Yeah.
So this way you're not just wandering into the camera shop
Right.
not sure what the hell you're doing, because that is a dangerously expensive mistake.
Exactly. And how many people have spent lots of money on photographers for their haunt?
I'm sure a lot of people listening to this.
Exactly. And it does take some skill. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to say it doesn't because, I got a side job here, but...
You got a side hustle to think about, everyone.
Exactly. But you can pick up enough to do your designs and get your monsters out
and
there.
Especially get some casual action shots as the night's going on.
Exactly.
I mean, there are things you can do while the haunt is open that maybe a professional photographer couldn't do.
Right. And I would stress the photography also because of the lighting. Mm-hmm. Because if you don't know how to light your haunt, this can help you.
Oh, yes. That's another valid point. It also does help with the lighting side of it, period.
Yeah. And I don't think we have many more art classes on here, but obviously painting's going to help you with your decoration. Yes. Costuming in the drama section's going to help you with that kind of stuff. But those are more obvious. We wanted to
get away from the totally obvious things. Because if you can get your hands on a costuming class, it's going to be useful. If you can get your hands on a set design class, it's going to be useful.
Right.
That's pretty obvious.
Yeah.
That you should take those. But hey, here's the thing. If you get nothing out of this podcast, you learn nothing at all, what you should learn is that you should hop online right now and look up the courses that are available at your local community college and see what does apply.
Exactly.
We're just talking about types of things you might want to consider that are very common courses.
Yeah.
But if they've got a costuming class or a set design or a painting class or something, dude, jump.
Yeah, and also if you're college age and you're setting up your schedule for the fall, these are elective courses.
Yeah.
If you're interested in haunting or the business side of it at all, this is something to keep in mind.
Yeah, very good point. Likewise, one other thing to keep in mind is the first summer session, we're recording this is going live on June 25th. Is probably done or well underway in most places.
Right.
But there are usually 2 summer sessions, a June and a July. And some have even 3 where you can get an early August one.
Right.
So, because colleges don't really open up until September.
Yeah.
So, some of them even offer 3 sessions. But yeah, usually you have a second summer session. You've heard of first summer, but what about second summer? So think about that. I say, but going back to photography, though, you want to learn how to get those good low-light images, how to process them. Usually they'll have some tips and tricks in Photoshop, nudge back to the previous conversation as to how to process them and make them look good.
Yep.
So think about it. All right. Moving on, getting away from the art stuff, as you said, for a minute. Mm-hmm. Social media and marketing. I was surprised. This one is not offered right now. But Delgado actually has an ad for a teacher on it, and I meet the qualifications.
Maybe you should do it.
Maybe, but their application process is stupid difficult, so I don't know. I felt pretty dissuaded after reading their...
I will tell you from experience, that's all colleges.
It was kind of funny because for this, they required I have 3 letters of reference, but they said a resume was optional.
That's interesting.
It's like the documents I have prep, like everyone's got a resume or / CV somewhere in their back pocket, and everyone's got their blah 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 references.
Yeah,
you've got some references in mind. I don't have 3 letters of recommendation just ready to whip out at a moment's notice.
Well, yeah, and this is a kind of a weird thing to get reference letters for.
Yeah, I don't know who I would even turn to for this. But anyways, social media and marketing. The course would teach the basics of marketing on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, etc. And it would focus heavily on how to use analytics, how to do strategic ad buys, and things like that. Mm-hmm. And here's the thing, just because you know how to use Facebook as a user doesn't necessarily mean you know how to use it as a marketer.
Right.
And there's a big difference between those two things. I mean, I'm sure you might be the person that everyone's connected to on Facebook and gets all the likes and stuff like that. But yeah, you might not be the natural marketer on there too, because the marketing tools are very specific and very different. And to be honest, when it comes to the marketing tools, even I don't dabble with them that much.
Right.
I did it more in my previous jobs.
Yeah.
The main reason being, I definitely post for this. I post for my day job. I have a lot of things I post for, but realistically, I consider those more extensions of my personal account, philosophically, than I do promotional things, even though I probably should. But here's the thing. If you're thinking about your haunt as a business, which you should,
yes,
this is a good class because this is a very important piece of the marketing puzzle. Mm-hmm. And also, it's worth noting that many colleges do offer a strict marketing class that you might want to consider too. Just sort of the basics of marketing includes everything from how the different elements of marketing fit together to how to do things like ad buys and things like that. So something else to consider if you want to. But yeah, I found that interesting. Social media and marketing is offered. Will be offered once they hire someone.
Yeah.
Once they hire someone that's probably not named Jonathan Bailey. Thanks to their stupid hiring requirements.
Yeah.
All right, next item up for bid. This one is a very, very good one here. QuickBooks and or business accounting classes. Now, they usually call it QuickBooks because, once again, it's titled and themed after the software you're learning to use.
Right.
But QuickBooks is, of course, the most common, the biggest name in business accounting software.
It is.
So, here's the deal. Running a business is hard. Keeping track of your money sucks. I get it. Software like QuickBooks helps if you know how to use it. Mm-hmm. And having been around people like our attorney friend who uses it, this stuff is crazy powerful.
Yeah.
It really is. It's amazingly powerful. But yeah, a class on it is definitely a good idea.
It is. Because unless you have someone who's been doing it for years sitting there training you at a job, then you're not going to be able to pick it up very easily.
No, it's not intuitive. Even though it's by a company called Intuit, it's not intuitive at all.
Yeah. Yeah, I've had to use it a few times, and it was not the easiest software.
I pride myself on being able to pick up damn near any software application in a hurry. I learned Quark Express and InDesign inside a few hours. The basics of inside an hour or two in both cases. I consider myself pretty savvy on this. QuickBooks is befuddling the first few times you use it, especially if you're not familiar with accounting practices to start with.
Right.
So this will help you. And the best of all is that it will help you set up systems for tracking your finances and finding opportunities to save or make money.
Right.
This is potentially huge, depending upon, the nature of your business and what you're trying to achieve. So yeah, a QuickBooks class for any business is not a bad idea.
Yeah.
And here's the thing, even if you are not the one who handles the books, if you're the one who owns the company or has some kind of higher position, this will help you read and understand those books.
Right.
Even if you have an accountant, you trust them completely, this helps you understand it independently from them.
Right. Not only that, but if you were the one putting in the information to give to the accountant or the person who helps you with it.
Yeah, you may learn how terribly you've been doing it.
Yeah.
And you may owe them flowers or something.
Yeah.
And chocolates.
Yes. And tracking this stuff makes it easy come tax time.
Oh, God.
Because you can just go in and you can see all the things, all the business expenses.
Yeah.
There they are. There's your deductions.
Yeah. It's a really great system, and it reduces stress at tax time. There's no reason if you're running your haunt, if your haunt is a business, there's no reason not to take this course unless,
or one similar,
unless you're not completely separated from the finances 100%.
Yeah.
If you're in any way connected to the finances of the haunt, I would suggest taking it.
Yeah.
Even if it's just submitting receipts.
Yeah.
All right. Some technology-specific courses. I had to bundle this together because it started getting way out of hand here.
Right.
But here's the deal. Haunts, as we all know, are increasingly tech-centric, and a lot of places are here to help you get the tech skills you need. Mm-hmm. They start with things like general IT, networking, computer programming, and even basic computing courses. If you are someone who doesn't know which end of the computer turns it on...
Yeah.
Can I suggest a basic computing course?
Yes.
If you are struggling to wire and make all the bits and bobs of your haunt communicate with one another, maybe you need a general IT or a networking course. Mm-hmm. And if you want to program things, a computer programming course, especially in one of the simpler languages, might be in order. Because here's the thing, is even though most of the controllers used in haunts don't actually use, one of the more common languages, it's usually just an activate, or it's usually like a series of switches type thing. This gets you thinking like a programmer. The hardest thing about being a programmer, this is something Ellie will talk to downstairs if we want to drag her up here, is that learning computer programming isn't about learning the language. Once you've learned one language, you can pick up another much more easily, and another and another and another. That's the story of her career, pretty much, right there. The hardest part about learning programming is learning the logic process and to think like a programmer.
Right. And there are, now that Raspberry Pi is becoming more and more out there are local classes, and look up your local tech people. Yeah. Because I know right now we've got NOLA Code that teaches code. We've got specific for women to learn programming. There's all these things too that are outside of the college that are usually free.
Yeah, and that's what I was about to say, was these classes here, you may be best off not getting inside a tech school or a college environment. Right. Just because there are so many opportunities outside to do it. Like I said, adult education centers, women coding things. Yeah. There are many, many, many opportunities for, a quote-unquote adult education. I don't understand why they call it adult education. Right. Because A, teens can often go. Right. And B, that seems to imply that, college students aren't adults.
Yeah, it does imply that, doesn't it?
And it's kind of a backhanded way of saying, like, college students aren't adults.
You're just kids.
Just kids. You're just kids. You're 18, you can go to war, you can vote, but you're just kids. Yeah. Oh, Lord. But yeah, so consider looking at other opportunities on that one. There are plenty of them out there to consider. And you may actually want to consider, even like local high schools and so forth may also put on such things. Right. So it's something to think about.
Yeah, and if you're in a tech town, there are definitely these around.
Yeah. Another area to jump into, project management. A lot of haunts don't really think about the PM side. Of the haunting. And this is interesting because, especially like mid-sized haunts, but basically project management, for those who don't know, is the sort of the skill set here of organizing, planning, and executing a large project. Yeah. For example, building a haunt. Yeah. Just building a haunt. The tool, and Crystal, and this is hilarious, the tool of choice is Gantt charts for this. Right. Now, Crystal and I learned Gantt charts very well right around 2005 when we were having the most interesting year of our life, bouncing around the southeast part of the United States after Hurricane Katrina, working with a construction company, and I was helping them put together a proposal for a major job. And I had never even looked at a Gantt chart before that year. Right. Never seen one, didn't know what they were, didn't know how to read them, construct them, build them, what to do with them. Yeah. I just thought they were chants of, charts of people named Gantt. Turns out that is not what they are. No. But here's the basic idea is that when you're doing a large project like a haunt, you have a lot of different elements that are taking place. But they are often dependent upon one another. Yes. For example, you can't begin wiring your security system until the walls are up. Yeah. Because you have to put, the cameras in the specific rooms. Right.
Sorry, I was thinking of actually running the wire, and I'm like, well, running the wire you'd want to do before the walls are in place, but...
but you can't put the actual cameras up.
Exactly.
So you see a good example of the problem here. Maybe you want to run the wires before the walls go up, but then the walls have... So the wires would be a stopper for the walls. Right. And then the walls would be a stopper for the cameras.
Right. Milestones.
Yeah, milestones that you have to encounter. So yes, that is neatly displayed in a Gantt chart. Did you know this? I learned this from the Wikipedia on project management when I was researching this episode. The whole field was developed by a guy named Gantt, predictably enough. Yeah. in 1850s.
Well, that's
I thought that was
smart
interesting.
guy. Yeah.
Thought that was interesting.
Yeah.
But yeah, we could probably do a whole episode on project management and haunting, and maybe we'll come back to it.
Yeah.
Because I started getting really obsessive as I was writing this section. But yeah, project management courses. I actually found one offered online by the University of Phoenix.
Okay.
And I know that at least one technical school locally offers something on it. Nunez Community College offers a class on it that you can take as a non-student. It's part of a degree, but you can take it as a non-student.
Right. And not only does it do Gantt charts, lay out milestones for projects like that, but it also lets you assign the number of people, how many hours it's going to take, all of this kind of stuff.
Deadlines.
All
important deadlines.
Yeah. I actually had to learn new software for this for a job that I had. I
Microsoft Project, right?
Yeah, Microsoft Project. I had no clue about the software. Said that sure, I can pick that up, and went in 2 days later for the interview and was able to get enough that they could see that I could learn.
Yeah. Well, you weren't the one actually having to build the Gantt charts. You weren't designing the project. You were kind of...
Yeah. Reviewing them, updating them.
Yeah, you were more the maintainer of
But I was able to build them, too.
Yes. But you were in the maintenance role, is what I was trying to say. All right. But yeah, it's a project management. If you can learn that, it will save you a lot of headaches down the road.
No kidding.
Trust me.
Yeah.
And this is the thing. We don't use Gantt charts with our haunt.
Right.
Reason being is that we don't have as many milestones as larger haunts would.
Right.
But we do organize in a very similar way. We have tracks of things that are coming on, and we mention when we want this completed by, and then we can start that, and then that'll branch off that. Right. It's more of a tree with hours in a Gantt chart, but...
It is, because basically we go, okay, these are the things that need to be done in this room. And this room, we want it to be done before this other room. Yeah. So that we can get the lighting in here, so that it doesn't affect the lighting in there.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, that kind of thing.
So yeah, you don't actually have to use Gantt charts if that intimidates you for some reason. Right. But it teaches you how to think along those lines. All right. Next one, and our last of the actual classes we're discussing, is vocal lessons. Yeah. And you were the one that came up with this idea, and I thought it was freaking brilliant and had to include it. Yeah. But yeah, you can take this locally, find your local musician friend. Right.
Usually there are listings on Craigslist for vocal lessons. Guitar Center, I believe, also has basic local vocal lessons.
Would not shock me.
Yeah.
And also, of course, colleges and their music department will often offer them as well.
Yes.
But main thing you're trying to glean here is, well, having a pretty singing voice is nice and all. Yeah. It's how to scream and be loud without hurting your voice.
Exactly.
Have you ever, after a night of haunting, went, damn, my throat.
Yeah.
It hurts so bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. Don't do that.
Yeah. Yes, there is a way to be able to scream and project from the diaphragm so that you don't, hurt yourself.
Don't injure your voice.
Yeah.
This is great for actor trainers and actor leads so they can pass along the knowledge because the basics of how you do it can be taught pretty quickly. It's more of a practice thing, really.
Exactly.
You have to get used to doing it. It feels like I did the demo of it. It feels very unnatural the first 100 to 2,000 times you do it.
Yeah.
Because it's not how you're taught to talk or scream or yell or do anything.
Right.
But it's like I said, it's diaphragm breathing above the pencil. Which will mean absolutely nothing to anyone that has not seen it was the Zen of Screaming, right?
The Art of Screaming.
Oh, the Art of Screaming.
Yeah, I was just looking it up, actually.
Yeah, there's a DVD you can look it up that teaches. I thought it was the Zen of Screaming.
I think you're right, because the Art of Screaming came up first.
Yeah, I really thought it was the Zen of Screaming.
It is.
Okay.
Zen of Screaming.
The Zen of Screaming taught the above the pencil trick, which is where you stick a pencil in your mouth and you try to make it so that everything you say feels like it goes over the pencil.
Right.
Comes off the roof of your mouth rather than off your tongue.
Right.
And that saves so much of your voice if you can master that.
Yeah.
And that's how, think about it, like those heavy metal musicians and those guys.
Right.
They get up there, they scream, they growl, they do all that every day, 300 days a year.
300, yeah.
Yeah, if they're
That's
touring
about
musicians.
right, yeah.
300 days a year, they're probably having concerts.
Yep.
And their voices aren't blown out.
No.
So, learn from them. Vocal lessons.
Yeah.
Seriously, it's a good idea.
Yeah.
It was a good addition, Crystal. And then, of course, there's just anything you find. Mm-hmm. Seriously, like I said, the whole point of this episode isn't necessarily, these are the classes you must take, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah.
No, it's, hey, these are some of the classes offered locally to us.
Right.
That we thought might be useful to haunters. Check what's in your neighborhood. I mean, there were like a lot of other wacky courses in this area. Like I said, the Giving a Haunted History Tour class at Delgado.
Yeah.
And there's also a separate Becoming a Tour Guide course, which that one makes more sense because becoming a tour guide in New Orleans is actually a slightly bigger deal than most places.
Yeah, you've got to get licensed, and we have a big tour community here.
Yeah. It's a big thing.
So,
and here's the thing, in New Orleans, you can make crazy bank
yeah.
off tour guiding. If you're good at it and you build a following, you can make some money.
We have at least 4 friends who do it full time.
Including 2 haunters.
Yes.
Just a thought there. Just saying that.
Exactly.
There's also a class on flying a drone.
Yep.
You ever want to learn how to fly a drone properly?
You wanna take video of your crowds outside in the line?
Go fly a goddamn drone.
Fly a drone.
Go fly a goddamn drone. Basic storytelling class.
That's an awesome idea.
That one was at Tulane.
Yeah, I mean, we've talked about that multiple times. I would also throw in there public speaking.
Yes.
Courses.
I did not see any public speaking courses.
There's one at Loyola this summer. Really? I thought about taking it.
They're advertising it quite terribly then.
Yes.
I could not find the continuing ed catalog for Loyola.
Yeah, I got an email about it. That's how I knew it.
But you're an employee. What do you...
Exactly. Because I can take classes. That's how I know it exists.
So they're advertising it to the people who can take it for free, but not the people that would pay money for it?
Yes, this might be why they have trouble.
This sounds like a very terrible business model.
Yeah.
There's also a wine appreciation class. I don't know how useful that is for haunting. But if you wanted to learn to appreciate wine...
Yeah, why not?
That, why not? Just see what's available.
For the after parties.
Yeah, exactly. Just basically see what's available and give it a try. These courses are always super, super useful.
Yeah.
And you can undoubtedly find something that will help you and your haunt out.
Yeah. Yeah. Business courses are one of the things I wish I had taken as an art student.
Well, we were talking about this before we went live. Yeah. I think basic finance courses, like how to balance your bank book, checking account, how to manage your assets, interest, things like that.
Right.
That should be high school.
Yeah.
And it's not in most places.
Yeah. Yeah, I had business math in high school. It was boring. I switched. Don't hit me with that.
What is this?
That's tiki.
Yes. Found a prop from one of our old
garbage bars.
Oh, God, help me.
It's basically a werewolf statue on a stick.
No, we were nothing if not high budget with that. I noticed it's held on with electrical tape. Okay. But in addition to community colleges and so forth, definitely consider looking at the major universities in your area if you've got one. Like, for example, Baton Rouge, when I looked into there, the major continuing ed opportunities were at LSU, obviously.
Right.
But here's the thing. One of the deals they offered was you could take non-credit classes. You could take credit classes as a non-credit student. They termed it a special student.
Right.
Basically, if a class had a slot, you could sit in it for a fee and take it. You can also take or view many of these classes online. That is how I took Berkeley Law School's copyright course.
Yeah.
Was online. Basically, you just sit there and you watch the lectures. If it's a lecture-heavy course, that's a great thing.
Yeah.
If it's a course that requires a lot of interactive work, like some of these design courses and photography courses, a little less useful. But if all you were going to be doing is listening to someone talk, you might be able to listen to someone talk for free on a computer.
Yeah. Exactly.
Just throwing that one out there. Also, there are online class sites like Skillshare, Lynda, and Coursend. They generally require subscriptions, so you can usually get like a month free or something. My advice there is that Skillshare sponsors about 90% of the YouTube videos I watch.
Yeah.
So basically, you should have no trouble finding a code for reduced cost or extended free trial or what the hell they're offering this week.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Lynda's been advertised on some of the podcasts I listen to.
Yeah, Lynda seems to do the podcast. Skillshare the YouTube videos. I don't know why. I don't know how we got here. But long story short, you can check those out and see if they have courses that are relevant. They have, I know, if you're into like video editing and things, which is something that was not offered locally, strangely enough. I found one course on After Effects, but not anything on like, Premiere Pro or basic video editing. So if you're into that type of stuff, it may be better to learn from these sites anyways, because you're going to be able to take it at your own pace, and some of that stuff can get really complicated. Also, look into alternative education centers, such as adult education centers. Don't hesitate to try to find what they have. Don't be scared, like I said, to go to the place where the old folks learn how to turn on a computer if they also have a networking and IT class.
Right.
Or something that might be more appropriate to your particular skill set. If you need to learn how to turn on a computer, there's no shame in going there either.
No.
Just get off your butt and learn this stuff.
Yeah. There is nothing wrong with bettering yourself through education.
No, nothing at all. Also, trade schools can be a very, very powerful place. Generally, trade schools obviously want you to go through the full shebang. Right. But many of them will offer, or at least some of them, will offer sample courses, for example, or the ability to come in and do these seminars to learn some of the basics. Right. And what they're really trying to do is, hook you in and...
Yeah, well, and these would cover things like carpentry, plumbing, electrical, welding, mechanics, basic mechanics, that kind of course. And they usually come with a certification at the end. Yeah. So if you need your electrical certification so that you don't have to hunt down the local electrician every time.
And obviously you're going to have to look at your local ordinances and what's required.
You will.
And I know in our state it's a lot more complicated than that.
It is, because you've got to do that, and there is a union.
Yeah. And there's a bunch of it. And you got to have so many hours. It's a pretty high number of hours. Then you got to pass the test, and then you got to be in the end, blah, 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 blah. It goes on.
Yeah, but this gives you a good start in order to being able to do that.
Yeah. And like I said, learning some of the basics in this is very, very useful. And finally, volunteer work. Yeah. Do not overlook volunteer opportunities here. If you want to learn carpentry very quickly, or some of the basics of like plumbing and so forth, consider building a house with Habitat for Humanity. Yeah. They can help teach you on site how to do a lot of the basic things. If you've never used, if you've never used a saw before, this is a good place to learn. Yes. Just don't get in anyone's way.
And how'd you find us? If you haven't had a little bit of building.
Well, you might be. Maybe there are people just trying to get into it.
I know. I know.
But consider, volunteering to pick up skills and learn a little bit more and hone what you do know.
Exactly.
If you're really good at carpentry, for example, but want to learn maybe some of the basics of electrical, right? The Habitat for Humanity is great. You go, you volunteer, you provide your expertise on the carpentry side, you help frame the house and all that. But then you can also maybe do some assistance with the electrical and get some tips and hands-on experience there.
Exactly.
So it's a great way to expand your knowledge. And like I said, there are other charities that do building and construction as well, so think about it as you go. Well, that's all I have for right now. I think that's a pretty good laundry list of places and things.
I do, too.
But on that note, everyone, thank you very much for spending the hour with us. Once again, this is Haunt Weekly. We are at hauntweekly.com, Haunt Weekly on Twitter, Haunt Weekly on Facebook. tinyurl.com/hauntweekly whisks you away to the magical land of our YouTube channel where you can go through all the past episodes. And also, we are available at Podomatic, iTunes, Stitcher, Google Play, all the places that podcasts are distributed. Yeah. So until next time, I'm Jonathan.
I'm Crystal.
And this was Haunt Weekly, episode 134, Continuing Ed for Haunters. We will see you guys next time.